Hi everyone. Last week was so fun. I feel like this is the most interaction, which is not really interaction, but the most faces I've seen in one space when I do lives, which is sad, but the reality. So it's a nice chance to even get to see people pop up and feel somewhat connected. So last week I talked about essential oils 101, basically the basics of essential oils. Hopefully those of you who are on here, hang on, we're telling, so weird it tells you things on here. I was talking about essential oils basics, just getting to know how to use oils. What are they? I didn't know that for the longest time. So this week is going to be about essential oils and emotions. It's one of my favorite topics because it absolutely surprised me. I had no idea that you could benefit emotionally. I thought I was taking responsibility for my emotions. I thought I was doing the hard work. I was working in an organization. If you saw the story that I shared my heart and where all of this came from, I was working in an organization that was proactively working with women. The organization is still alive and doing well, but they work with the belief and the truth versus lies and all of that. And so I was really invested in that understanding of taking thoughts captive and taking ownership and responsibility of my emotions and my mentality and my thought process. But I didn't realize that there were some natural alternatives to medication, some natural options. I didn't even think I needed anything. And so I have never been on any medication. I don't know the difference of having it and then not. And so I just didn't know that there was an option that, could come in oils. So last week we went over kind of the basics of what are they, how do we use them. I'm probably going to touch on that a little bit because I know that not everyone was able to hop on at that time. But I'm going to kind of dive into it. Some facts, some information, and then also parts of my story and how these actually really surprised me. And hopefully you enjoy all of it because I love this stuff. I love nerding out on this. I love hearing all the testimonies. There's always things that come up that I didn't know. So I hope you enjoy this. Okay, so the first oil that a little bit about my story with oils and emotions, the first oil that really changed things for me was Release. So it was a big bottle. I always keep it full. I keep it in stock because I had no idea. I say that over and over, but I had pent up a lot of anger that I did not know I needed to release. My parents, just a little side story, my parents got divorced and I was just really dealing with a lot of stuff. I honestly think I dealt with a lot of anger when I was younger too. I've always struggled with knowing how to put words to strong emotions, and I'm a very passionate person. I'm not easily moved by emotions, but I feel strongly. My husband and I always talk about our differences because he feels deeply and is very in tune with his emotions. I just feel a conviction and it really strongly. So for anger was one way that I really dealt with my emotions. Anger feels a lot more powerful than the vulnerability of being hurt. And so all that to say, I didn't know how much anger I actually pent up in my body. So when I started using Release, which is not in the starter kit, but it was I think it was one of the first oils that I bought outside of the starter kit, I was blown away because I started to feel such a lift. It sounds so crazy. They are plants, but they're powerful and they really can partner with your body and help you release what you need to release. So that's just a little bit. I'll go into a little bit more of how I felt and the difference, the breaking of the mental cycle that it's been for me. I know it sounds so crazy when I even spit out the words. I'm like, I remember what this sounded like. I remember feeling like these people were weird, but it really, really works. And it does blow your mind because, and it does enhance your life. The quality of your life is so connected to your emotions and how much you carry that you're not supposed to carry, that we're not supposed to carry, that we're not meant to carry and feel the weight of. And that just keeps building as you become an adult. And so these are just amazing. So anyways, okay, so I'm going to go through this breakdown. What I'm about to say is what I shared last week, but I just feel like it's a great capture on what essential oils, what Young Living essential oils can do. So if you heard it last week, sorry, still probably interesting, but I'm going to just briefly go through it because I know some of you weren't able to be on last week. So Young Living therapeutic grade essential oils can reach every cell in your body within 20 minutes when applied topically, help eliminate toxins in your body, help support the different systems of the body, digestive, nervous, muscular, and more, promote cellular regeneration, pass through the blood-brain barrier, work on emotions via the limbic system of your brain. And I'll tap in a little bit more on these topics and after this list, but promote healthy emotional wellness and relax and clear the mind, transport nutrients, be powerful antioxidants, remove toxins in the air, promote healthy, breathable air, be a great alternative to chemical or toxic fragrances. So that's just a simple list, but how incredible that they do that for our bodies. Okay, so how can oils benefit our emotions? Essential oils can penetrate cell membranes and cross the blood-brain barrier within seconds. It's so crazy. I love this stuff. This allows them to reach the emotional center of our brain. This is where all of our emotions are stored. Essential oils support the body to come back into balance without harmful side effects or chemical-based products. So, I'm not a doctor. Do whatever you and your doctor have agreed that's best for you. But one thing I love about essential oils, well, two things. There's no side effects. And two is that it's not directing your brain a certain direction. It's offering options for your body to then take hold of what it needs, which keeps things in balance rather than, I know that with medication, it's all one way. That's a very broad sense of this, but I remember hearing a lot of different stories where the dose would be wrong, the dose would need to change in the organization I worked with, and it was, working with a doctor, but there were a lot of things that you had to figure out, like, oh, on this medication you can be hallucinating and you can hear voices and you can, like, none of that comes with oils. So it's been really incredible to tap into this in my own life and see other people feel the benefit and experience the testimonies. Whereas, another route of dealing with heavy things can push you in a different direction and cause other issues, whereas oils don't do that. But again, I'm not a doctor, so work with what your doctor and you have decided. Okay, so, and they're all plants. So there's nothing, again, no side effects because there's no chemicals. They can have a powerful influence over how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. Because they can pass through the blood-brain barrier, essential oils can bring balance to our bodies simply by our sense of smell. So think of diffusing. It's more than making our home smell good. So I know for me, at first when I started diffusing oils, I was like, oh, this is cool. They make my home smell good. You don't always think of lemon as like actually a mood lifting scent. You might think like, oh, I love how fresh this is. I love a clean home. I love the smell of this because it reminds me of a clean home or whatever. But if you're actually using a fragrance and a chemical instead of a plant, it's actually just telling your brain that that's what it's supposed to be, but an oil actually sends the message to your brain whether you knew or not. Which is fascinating. If you take a moment and think of holidays, there are certain smells that you associate with the memories. Smell is very powerful. So whether it's a scent that's actually sending a message to your brain or not, scents do connect memories. They do leave an imprint on our limbic system, on our just on our memories and traditions. You think of this, smells of the apple pie or whatever. It's very powerful. You think of the smells of nature when you walk outside and you take a walk, and it helps. I don't know about you, but it helps reset my brain if I'm in nature. I don't think that's by accident. I think they were created to do that and bring grounding benefits and things like that. Okay, so here's more of the science. I'm going to start with some basic science. This is only the tip of the iceberg. this, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but this is just some of the information that I've gathered and I find fascinating and I want to share with you guys. So, and when I heard it, I thought it was so interesting. My husband did too. It sheds so much light on how our emotions affect us and how oils can help. Everyone has some level of emotional toxicity that has built up over their life through traumas, both big and small. For our purposes, trauma can be defined as any situation where you got less than what you needed and were not equipped to process it. I love that definition because trauma really can't, it's all based on perception. Something really big to me could be small to someone else, but it has left an imprint. I still have to process it. It still has weight and it can still affect how I think, how I feel about something. It can be triggering. So that's what we're gonna just state trauma is. These traumas can actually get stored deep within our cellular memory. The limbic system of the brain is primarily responsible for our emotional life and also controls functions including adrenaline flow, behavior, motivation, long-term memory, and olfaction. I say that wrong. The olfactory smell sense is almost directly connected to the limbic system, meaning simply inhaling essential oils can have an immediate and profound effect. Again, then it just doesn't make your house smell good. It actually has benefit. A New York University study found the only way to release fear from the amygdala, part of the limbic system, is through smell. So amazing. Essential oil compounds can actually work to repair and reprogram cellular memory. So it's basically partnering oils and uprooting lies or finding the root of your fears and worry and all those big emotions and then replacing it. So just like a rough, simple way to explain this. Hopefully this is helpful and breaks it down. Okay, so again, I'm not a pro at this. This is just how I think of it. So all of our emotions, the ways we think, the way that our brain is wired comes from the very beginning of our life. And sometimes we end up in not a line of growth, but a circle. So we are in the same type of thoughts, the same type of feelings. Sometimes they get deeper, sometimes they stay in the surface. We're just creatures of habit, and we have personalities and we have passions, and all those things a lot of times are in the same circle. So then you step into something that is traumatic or there's distress or conflict. You might actually imprint that even deeper, and it really become almost a part of you without you completely knowing how far it went back, if that makes sense. So let's say this is your thought process. For me, when I dealt with anger, I would feel really strongly about something, not always know why, didn't always have the pocket of or space to process that, and then I would react as if it was the same thing, years ago. So then this cycle, if you feel really deeply, really strongly, react without taking time to really figure it out, it's harder to find a pocket and a space to change the way that you're responding to something. So an essential oil, so you're in that same thought process, you're reacting the same way. If you're putting on an essential oil, you then have more space to react differently. So if I am grumpy and I'm reacting out of that emotion, I'm like feeling the same thing and having a really hard time unwinding it, putting on an essential oil can actually give you the chance to change the direction that you're going. So hopefully that was helpful. Okay, so the next, where I'm going with this is how do they actually support? The first step in releasing negative emotions is awareness. Often we are aware of the things that stress us out, overwhelm us, or make us angry, but what we need to focus on is the why, the root issues behind our emotions. It's best to work through one emotion, one situation, one memory at a time. It's so crazy how many memories and ways that we react to things and our emotions are all so connected. And so to focus on one thing at a time and go deep into the root is really, really helpful to figure out how to change it. Chances are, Focus on your emotion, then begin to let go of the negative emotion and start focusing on the opposite side of the emotion, or how you want to feel about the situation or the memory. If you are working through a deep-seated memory, this process will take time. So that's just kind of the surface of working through emotions. Chances are you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, chaotic, and anxious. Grounding oils are a good choice. So there's a ton of different oils. I'm going to go through them. If you just hold tight, I am going to get to that, but I'm going to go through a bunch of the ones that you would be surprised are grounding oils, but then I'm going to also mention some things that I use for grounding. Looking deeper at these emotions, you realize they are driven by fear, failure, or some other list of emotions that you will, and let's say that you will fail as a mom by not giving your kids a storybook Christmas. Like, there's just so many things that you can go through. Fear of failure, the way it came from your childhood. It goes on and on. I was gonna talk a little bit longer about some things, but I'm gonna jump through because I've already talked a lot about this. Let's see. Everyone's body is different, so something that you might think would work for you, you might actually be surprised that you need something else. Release was something I was drawn to. A lot of our oils are really helpful that the word that is on the description of the blend kind of directs you on what you might need. There's surrender, grounding, there's gentle baby that's really emotionally supportive for little ones, and release, like I mentioned, valor. Some of them just really blatantly make sense of what you would need, but some are really surprising. So it really helps to go through, what are you drawn to? I'm drawn to a lot of tree oils. Are you drawn to citrus? That sort of thing. But there's also information out that talks about if you absolutely abhor the smell, if you cannot stand a smell, you might need it emotionally. So that is out there as well, which there's more information if you want to dive into that. But okay, so another way that stress can impact you is gut health. You might think that's strange to talk about when it comes to digestion system, but the truth is your gut and your brain are tightly connected and they communicate back and forth all day long. While some hold their emotions in their neck, backs, jaw, or heads, think tension, headaches, head tension, neck tension, some of us hold our emotions right in the pit of our stomach. The impact of poor gut health on the functioning of the brain has been scientifically linked to a range of illnesses, including ADHD, autism, chronic fatigue, OCD, anxiety, and depression. Good or friendly bacteria can help keep our gut healthy, aid in digestion, control metabolism, reduce toxins, absorb nutrients, and help our immune system running. Okay, so why am I talking about like what seems off topic? Gut health, or anything that creates or manages or is affected by our stress, is part of the reason we want some help, right? So if you're dealing with a lot of acid in your stomach, you're cramping, whatever it is, because of stress, you want to relieve that. So that's where I'm going with this. If you are like, why are we talking about this? All of these things direct to stress-related issues, which you want help with. Hormone imbalance. Okay, so if you're dealing with hormone balance, there are so many different ways that you can find out if that's what you're dealing with. But one oil that I want to mention that I use for that, if you're a woman, is Progessence Plus. So we have a blend. I did not use this while I was pregnant, but it's basically if you have low progesterone levels, this is an all-natural way to balance things out. It's not like a medication. It doesn't push everything one direction. It balances your body out. So Progessence Plus is amazing. You can get more information on that if you want it. Okay, so where to start supporting your emotions with oils? We finally got to the oils part, huh? I'm going to go through the starter kit oils along with some others that are my favorite. They're the best selling and the most commonly used, so that's why I'm going to talk about them. They were my favorite place to start. I didn't know they were going to be my favorite place, but that is where I started, and I'm so glad I did, and I've gotten the kit 3 times since. Each oil is incredibly versatile. Your bottle of lavender, for example, is not good for only one thing. It's good for many things. There are so many uses and purposes for each oil. My hope for you is that you learn a little bit more of each one of these. Okay, so last week I was so surprised at how hard it was to talk after. Okay, How dry my mouth was. Digize. Okay, so we're going to talk about the different oils. So Digize comes in your starter kit. Looks like this. And you can actually use it internally. Some use it just with coconut oil and you rub it on your stomach. That works too. An oil blend designed for digestive discomfort and emotions. So you're not going to typically think of Digize for emotions. But like I said, if you have any physical discomfort, this can help with that. I like to put it in a veggie capsule. You can put it in your water. It's not the best tasting oil. But some people do that. Some just drop it under their tongue. I don't do that. I just put it in a veggie capsule. Okay, so whatever the issue of your stomach, cramping, like I said, if you've eaten something and you're stressed, like the mixture of things is not working, you can use Digize. It's pretty amazing. That is how it helps with emotions. But then there's frankincense. So frankincense, I love this oil for so many things, but I think I really saw a difference, the most difference, when I was pregnant and I could not sleep because my mind was racing. I don't know what it is about pregnancy. Maybe because you now have a little life to think about. I was dealing with a lot more fear than I had ever dealt with. I was having crazy nightmares. I think that's hormonal. But I know there was a lot of fear in the mix as well. And my mind was just going constantly. So frankincense was so grounding for me. I know a lot of people love to diffuse this when they're anxious. I love this smell. It's very grounding. It's very earthy. It's great for other things like skin and stuff too. But it's so good. And none of these oils can you really describe the smell. Oils smell very different than perfumes. So that's why you'll just hear me say, oh, it smells so good. Okay, so frankincense is grounding. It may be supportive of emotions of fear, loneliness, insecurity. It's calming and relaxing. And the next one is lavender. So if you haven't heard about lavender, I feel like this is the number one oil that people think of and want because everyone loves, the idea of relaxation. But Young Living essential oils actually tell your brain to relax instead of just you thinking it smells refreshing or relaxing. So lavender may promote restful night's sleep, calming. It's a really great one for little ones. It's just really gentle but still very powerful. And it may support those wanting to combat irritability and frustration. So again, it's very calming. Lavender, if you know anyone that has dealt with distress and they've been in the military, let's just say it that way. So frankincense and lavender has been known to be really, really helpful if someone is having a really rough time while trying to sleep. So those are two that are awesome for that. Lemon and citrus fresh. Okay, so I was surprised that these were actually really helpful for emotions because I just think of cleaning products. But they're really mood lifting, which is amazing to me that all of these plants were specifically designed with purpose, not just smelling good, even though they do. So lemon and citrus fresh. So citrus fresh is all of the citrus plus spearmint, and then lemon is just straight lemon. I love using this in my water. It's very cleansing to the body, which will help with if you have any toxins or anything that you just need to move through your body. It's very cleansing, but it's also cleansing in other ways. It's purifying to the air. It's very uplifting. So if you are feeling down, these were oils that I would go to winter months very often. Grapefruit, lemon, citrus fresh were my favorites because when you're really sad, the darkness after tons of days of rain, you want something happy, and these oils, if you diffuse them, it's so helpful. So anyone feeling down, lemon is an awesome one. It is actually really well known for people who try oils to be a stress relief oil. It's also really helpful with clarity of thought if you need something to help you think clearly and focus and concentration. So that's another reason I love diffusing it in the morning with peppermint. It's just really bright and wakes everything up. The next one is Panaway. So this one is my go-to for muscles. It's cool and invigorating. Can't even say these words. It may promote feelings of energy. So it's uplifting, but it's another one to wake you up. and just kind of like a reset oil is what I think of it. If I'm going to diffuse it or if I'm going to put it around on me, it's just helpful like when I'm working out. Focus and concentration. If you're feeling a little scattered, it's a really good one for that. And let's see, it's uplift. It's also helpful for your body. So if you're feeling really tense, in your shoulders, that sort of thing, you can add a little bit of coconut oil or put it in a roller and put that on, and it's going to help calm that area physically. So that is my favorite way to use this. Let's see. Okay, so might promote feelings of letting go, so release. I guess the oils in that one are for release. So the next one, we're halfway through, and this is the short list. For peppermint, everyone that has this one, I feel like loves this one. I rarely hear of people hating this one. It's very helpful with brightening, lifting the room, focus, concentration. Sometimes I hear of people feeling relieved of stress with this one. Let's see what else my list says. It's really crisp and clean smell. So if you are drawn to that smell, again, as you try these different oils, like that's why the starter kit is so awesome. You get a better sense of which oils do what for you. So if you're drawn to like frankincense, you might like the more tree oils. If you're drawn to citrus, then you'll know that's, the area that you could dive a little deeper. And after your kit, you get those types of oils. Or the like stress away, which I'm going to talk about, is fruity. Then there's other ones that are a little bit more floral or a little bit more minty. You just kind of figure out which areas are more beneficial to your needs. So it's just a really great place to start. So peppermint is also great for energy. So if you're feeling down, not necessarily emotionally the same way that lemon, but like if you are lacking motivation and you need something to boost your mood, this is a great one for that. Okay, the next one is Raven. Raven, again, another kit oil. It smells like, to me it smells like, whoa, I forgot what that smells like. It's so fresh. It's a cross between Panaway and a eucalyptus set. I love this one for working out. It's a lifting oil. Another concentration, helps you focus, and let's see, another energizing. It's also really great supporting your limbic system. So if you want to look into that one, and very rejuvenating. So this one, another way is like if I'm stuffed up, if I'm congested, I will use this for like a chest rub. It's just really, it's not bright, it's just really fresh. So it opens everything up. Okay, so Stress Away, one of my absolute favorites. If you have not smelled this one, you really should. It's vanilla, cedarwood, lime. It's so tropical, happy. So this one, just to show you one of the ways you can use this one, I actually love putting this one in my hair as a diffuser, kind of like a personal diffuser, because it has been known to balance your blood pressure. So if you need that, if you don't, it won't just change your blood pressure. It won't drop it lower, but it will balance it out if you need the help. So this one I will either put on my wrist and just wear it like perfume, or I'll put it in the palm of my hand and just smell it in. That's the way you can use a lot of the oils. Super easy to use, not difficult. You can put them in rollers to make them easy to go in your purse. Okay, so that one promotes relaxation. It's calm feelings. Like I said, it helps balance your blood pressure. It's helpful in combating emotional stress. So a lot of these have similar, but they're gonna have, I'm just touching on a few. So these are so useful in the practical sense of, like I said, congestion with Raven, but there are a lot of specifically emotionally supportive benefits to this as well. We're almost done. Okay, so Valor is one of my absolute favorites. I have been using this a lot for fear lately, or since Aviana has been born. This one is a favorite for postpartum. For women, postpartum, constantly love this one and joy. So this one is made of, I just put my nose, made of the blend of oils that you can find in history. They found in history, they formulated a blend after the Roman soldiers would put this going into battle. This is what they would put on before battle. So I love this. It feels so calming to me. Another reset, like if I'm just overwhelmed or feeling fearful of something, and maybe I need to help change my thoughts, they don't just go away. But if I put this on my body, I can feel it relaxing, which is incredible. So then it offers your mind a chance to change its thoughts because your body is now changing direction as well. Okay, so I think I have a few other ones, but immune support, if you think of, it might sound like a stretch, but how often do you feel your emotions impacted when you're not feeling well? So the more often you can boost your immune system, which is thieves, the less you're going to have that down of not feeling well, being stressed, all those things. I can't stand not feeling well. So I'm always using that to boost my immune system. Okay, the last one for the starter kit oils is Peace and Calming. I think that's the last one. Yes, Peace and Calming. Okay, this is my daughter's favorite oil, and she's 2. You'll never hear me say the terrible twos, but they're definitely a lot of emotions. That poor sweet little human, and every sweet little human, I just can only imagine what they're going through. So she has a roller and she douses herself with it. She puts it everywhere. She loves the smell. I think she knows that, she doesn't understand placebo effect. I think she knows that it's actually helping her. And I see a difference the more consistent she is and the more consistent I give it to her. So this one it's called the Tantrum Tamer. That's its nickname, I guess. But I love this one. This one smells so calming to me. It's, I don't even know how to describe it, but it just smells so unique. So another one that's really emotionally supportive. I'm telling you, if you want to know where to start, just go with the starter kit. So that's all for my starter kit oils. I just want to show you the best-selling favorites, but I'm going to go back to, for those of you who want to hear and are still on, I'm going to go back to the things that I use consistently outside of the starter kit. So here's just a few. So I mentioned Release for anger. This, I can't even tell you how much lighter I feel if I'm using this consistently. Sometimes that looks like agitation, carrying more responsibility than I feel like I should or is healthy. I'm worrying about things. I'm stressed. It smells so good to me. Like, I love this oil so much. So this was the first oil that made such an impact. It's such a powerful oil. I love this smell. But I just instantly feel calmed when I use this oil. Another one is Gentle Baby. I mentioned this. I used to put this on Aviana when she was going through growth spurts really often. It seems like when babies are babies that the second that they get through a growth spurt, there's another one. And so as soon as you figure things out, they change things up on you, and they're just all their emotions, and you don't know what's going on, and you don't know what they're trying to communicate. All they do is cry. I mean, you could get a sense of like, oh, is their stomach hurting, and try different things. But a lot of times it's just emotionally, even if their stomach's hurting, there's emotions to that. They're probably stressed. They probably don't understand why this is happening. It hurts, like all of those things. So Gentle Baby is one that I love. It's actually really great for moms as well, moms and babies. So if you want something to put on that you can be around your newborn and put on them, or that's calming on you to them, Gentle Baby is really, really relaxing for a little one. The next one is White Angelica. I'm almost done. But this one I want to mention because I used this for nightmares when I was pregnant, and they literally went away. The one night that I forgot after I had started using them, I had another nightmare, and then I put it back on and it was gone again. So this one is a very powerful one for, it's been described as this one is to help you feel safe. So loss, fear, that one's really powerful. Miscarriage, a lot of people who have dealt with miscarriage love this oil as well. Okay, so 2 more that I want to mention, just so you know, there are a lot of different ones. This is not even the beginning of them. This is just the beginning. Is Inner Child. So this one, for me, I'm a type 1 on the Enneagram. If you know anything about that, where we can be I personally can be a little uptight, and sorry for the random glow. So this one is just kind of, it lightens the emotional load. If I'm too intense, if I'm too serious, if I'm taking myself too seriously, this one is a really great one. It just kind of brings out that fun side. It sounds so funny, but if you use it, you know what I'm talking about. And it smells really good. It smells like flowers. The last one I want to mention is surrender. So you probably see a theme. I need help letting things go. So surrender if you're in a situation, and sometimes these oils can be specific to the season you're in. You might not need release a lot of times, but if you're in a season of really hard stuff that you're carrying, you might need to try release. For me, if I'm in a season where so many things feel out of control, I need help surrendering. Release and surrender are two that I'm gonna be using. The name of the last one. The last one is surrender. Is that the one you're talking about? And inner child was this one. Is that what you're talking about, Trinity? I can always tell you too. The third one was gentle baby. Third to last. So those are just some of the ones that I use. Again, I mentioned Valor for fear. I've been using that a lot. I feel like everyone in the world needs that right now. Inner child. Because it is just, there's so much going on. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope that was fascinating as it is for me. Like I said, though, there are so many different things that you can use for, to benefit from oils. And most of these are in the starter kit. So take a look at that. If you want to look a little bit more into the uses of the starter kit, I do have another video. So you can go and take a look at that. And it breaks down, it gives a lot more information on other things that you can use them for. There's a million uses. So I hope you guys have a great night. And if you ever have questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to help.